Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we're setting sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Icy Lair. I am your host, the Ice Dragon, Rayron VR. Welcome to another episode. This is episode 12. The little text there kind of lies. It's actually 12. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. But we are officially on episode 12. Welcome, everyone. We got a few things to talk about. I'm probably not going to talk about too much today, but definitely going to talk about some highlights. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I did a video called Arcane is Pure Escapism. Arcane was definitely really good. It is now my second favorite anime of all time, and the story was just really good. The characters just made me want to go back to League of Legends and pick, a particular character and just go ham with it, in the lanes. And the world building was so good. It was so refreshing to have a good, decent story for once. And I highly recommend go watching Arcane. Now, probably for the first time, I've actually called something a masterpiece. So what I kind of want to talk about is why Arcane is a masterpiece for a little bit. So, me, I got to start with a definition just to make sure that everyone's on the same page of what I mean by masterpiece. So we got the wonderful Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and we got the definition of masterpiece. So basically, a work done with extraordinary skill, a supreme intellectual or artistic achievement. A piece of work presented to a medieval guild as evidence or qualification for the rank of master. So obviously I'm going to be focusing on the first definition, just so that we're all on the same basis by what I mean by masterpiece. And then also some other interesting things to note when it comes to, I think it's under synonyms. No. So go ahead and look what skill means real quick. Because again, it talks about work done or extraordinary skill. So the ability to use one's knowledge to effectively and readily in execution or performance, or dexterity of coordination, especially in the execution of learned physical tasks. So now again, we're not talking about physical tasks here. We're talking about the execution and the knowledge effectively. And then some other things when it comes to like synonyms for skill, we talk about adaptiveness, art, artfulness, artistry, cleverness, craft, cunning, masterfulness, and skillfulness. So those things is what I kind of look for when I define masterpiece. Does it have the artistic skill? Is, the story written well? Or can we fall in love with the characters? Can we attach to a particular character and actually walk within their shoes? How is the world building going? Is the city a character? And when it comes to Arcane, I think it meets these qualifications really, really well. So objectively, I think the art style for Arcane is beautiful. The characters you can fall in love with. Each one of them has their own strengths and weaknesses, and you can see the humanity side of each one of these characters really start to shine. And the attention to detail of the champions, or the main characters. So if you haven't played League of Legends, each one of the main characters that you see in this show, such as V and Jinx and Victor and all these other ones, they are, okay, a little bit of spoilers here, so I'll give you a minute. They are champions from League of Legends. And so, when I was talking in that video, there's over 100 characters that they can choose from. My personal favorite champion from League of Legends was Sylvanas. I always want to say Sylvanas, but I know it's Sylvanas. It was like a fire drake, dragon / humanoid shapeshifter. And it's like, I want to see that in Arcane. Netflix has approved and ordered a second season. So with the cliffhanger, again, a little bit of light spoilers. With the cliffhanger at the end, I'm looking forward to what they do in season 2. And it goes without saying, if you are a fan of League of Legends, if you played it, you're going to love Arcane. I know there's some distinct haircuts and color choices with the hair. Stay with me. Don't let that discourage you, because those hairstyles were actually from the original champions in League of Legends. So that was developed back in like 2009. So that was before everything went to woke and went to shit essentially. But highly, highly, highly recommend Arcane. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes. I know I don't like looking at Rotten Tomatoes, but I just want to use it for a staple when it comes to Arcane and some of these other. They're just data points, and again, you guys can decide if it's valuable or not. But let's go ahead and look at how Arcane is doing. All right, and there we have it. Arcane on Rotten Tomatoes, still at 100% for the critics. That is impressive. It's very, very impressive. And then 97 average audience score, which is pretty good. Pretty darn good. So yeah, you got all these characters. Silco was really good. Oh man. Vandir. You want to talk about a good father figure and trying to do what's right for your kids? I think we can all put ourselves in these shoes if you have a family. Caitlyn definitely had her own characteristics. I was shipping her and V so much through this story. But again, it's about the process. It's about presenting the characters, their dilemmas, their interactions with one another. It was portrayed so very well. And then Victor was such a good character. Jace, yep. Mel, V, and then Jinx. Jinx was such a good character. You want to talk about complexity, you want to talk about layers of trying to understand a character, trying to figure out what's good, what's bad, manipulation, power, control. So well done. So well done. Like, it's up there with even the Joker. Just really, really done well. Great scenes. I love the art style. Yeah. Impressive. The voice actors sound legit. The cast, the voice casting for the show was on point too. They felt like they were part of the character. They felt genuine. They felt integral to the story. Great cast. Great up-and-coming voice actors. But yeah, Netflix has, not surprisingly, ordered a second season for Arcane. So definitely a masterpiece. It is beautiful to look at. The skills of the characters that were in play here, the writing, the city felt like a character as well. Because each one of our main characters here had a role, a dance, a finesse with the city as well. Like, I can't praise this thing enough. So far, it has been really the only thing that I've watched that I would consider a masterpiece. And this is easily my benchmark going forward. When it comes to objectively looking at a storytelling perspective. Very, very good. Very good. And it's getting to the point that I'm going to binge watch this again because it was so good. I just got to find the time, but definitely excited for that. Definitely excited about that. Okay, so that is Arcane. Let's go ahead and talk about something that is a little bit more depressing, kind of a 180 from the epicness that was Arcane. And if you're a DC fan right now, man, I feel you. I feel you. It's like, you want to talk about destroying escapism? Take a chapter from DC. Bounding in the comics. Let's take a look at this. According to a 12 Years of Slave screenplay writer turned comics author, John Ridley has decided to pen a story of DC Comics where Superman is impaled or implied to have been sexually tortured during one of his previous Silver Age adventures was made in order to provide commentary for his personal perception that the prevailing culture in this country is when bad things happen to people who are traditionally marginalized. There's a feeling of, okay, we got it, it was worse, let's just move on. Like, if you're a fan of Superman, escapism, we put our hard-earned money and time to just escape, fall in love with a character, fall in love with a story. A journey that we can't really have in our reality world. And then you go down to this panel, and this is the sheer definition of destroying escapism. Every day they would drag me into the interview room. Every day they would restrain me in a way that left me exposed and vulnerable. Like, if you're a parent, would you buy this for your kid? If you want to enjoy, if you want to pass along something you've grown up with good Superman comics, and a fan of Superman in general, do you want to pass this along to your kid? What message are we sending? It's all about the message. And every day for 8 months, they did things to me. And God bless those who actually went through this shit. You know how triggering this is for those who actually went through this type of horrific acts of inhumanity? This is why I didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Our hero's going to try to get a bank loan and get rejected. You know how triggering that was for me? It's like, no. I want to sit down. I want to spend some time and just escape into a world where I can learn some lessons. Not read something that mimics what I already go through from time to time to time. They did things to me while I was forced to look at him. And some obviously Russian name here, I assume. The commander of whatever force that is, the Devil of Lubania. A man who has single-handedly caused the deaths of thousands of people simply because no one cared enough to stop him. You are Superman. How are you able to be binded like that? I'm pretty sure they said, oh, it is kryptonite binding. Sure. Because some Joe Schmo can get kryptonite bindings. Like, what on earth is happening with this? And people wonder why the next generation is going to manga. Why even current generation, such as myself and the millennials, are going to this stuff. We're just done. Again, I say it from time and time again that there are two valuable resources for humanity, and that is simply money and time. One of which we will eventually run out of. This is ridiculous. Like, how can you be a DC fan when your favorite character is getting impaled? Like, what the fuck? This is so ingenuous, so thoughtless, so horrific to those who have actually been through this shit. Especially if you look up to Superman as a guiding light, as a role model. The fuck? I can't talk about that anymore. That's bullshit. I feel really sorry for those DC fans out there. This is why I created my multiple channels, because this is unacceptable. And I want to bring to the spotlight escapism that is wonderful today. That's why this channel is heavily focusing on manga, because I am reading manga religiously now. I can almost finish a volume in about an hour. That's how fast I'm getting with these readings. And the stories are just wonderful. I've got 2 mangas lined up because I've been slightly behind. IRL's been catching up to me. I'm going to try to get those videos out tomorrow. But that's why I do all my manga spotlights, because there's just so many good stories to tap into. And I will admit, I'm not the greatest speaker, not the greatest reader. You know, I am one of those stereotypical people that, ooh, give me pictures. Can't do comics though. I've been trying to get into comics, but my brain is hardwired that manga is just much more appealing to me. I don't know if because it's black and white, or the pictures are more appealing to me because I grew up with a more anime mindset and art style. But I bought the Epic Collection Moon Knight because I actually want to find a character that I can really get behind in like DC or Marvel. And you know, I don't want to get into the typical Superman, Batman, Spider-Man type of thing. I want a character that's unique, something that I could potentially relate to. So Moon Knight grabbed my eye because, you know, the Moon Knight series is coming on Disney Plus, which we'll see how that goes. I'm not. We'll see. We'll see where they take it. But Moon Knight reminded me, again, I'm biased, so everything comes from Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon had a character called the Moonlight Knight, and that character reminds me heavily of the Moon Knight in DC Marvel. So that's where I'm making my connection right now, and just to see what the story is. And for some reason, the comic book art style, it's definitely not for me. And I've got to get used to it. That's the problem. It's nothing wrong on the art style. It's me personally, I'm not used to it, so it's just brand new, and it's going to take me some time to crack it, to see if it's actually, you know, worthwhile. But so far, I'm interested. I like the character. I like the costume, too. You know, I'm all about powers from the astral world and so forth. That's kind of been my thing. It's usually my go-to superpower. But I feel sorry if you're a true DC and Marvel fan, or yeah, DC or Marvel fan right now. When I read that, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Okay, so that is our poor Superman. There's something else too I want to talk about. There's a little show called The Book of Boba Fett going around, and I have decided not to. I don't want to give Disney any more money. They have ruined one of my favorite franchises, which is Star Wars. And I think the fans are striking back. Again, wonderful bounty in the comics, great journalism. I highly recommend if you want to get some fair and just a fresh eye on perspective when it comes to journalism. Bounty in the comics is where it's at. Okay, so we got a rumor Book of Boba Fett ratings not doing as well in streaming as the Walt Disney Company would like. Well, gee, I wonder why. And I will do a stock market, because it won't be a stream without bashing on Disney. I mean, I'm sorry. I gotta bash on Disney. Like, I gotta make fun of them because they had the greatest opportunity in cinema history. They had the opportunity to reunite Han, Luke, and Leia. They could have made much more, billions, had they have done that. But they didn't. And Carrie Fisher's dead, so good luck with that. Good luck with that. The rumor comes from Scooper WDW Pro, the Park Place, who claims his source informed him that the Book of Boba Fett was not doing as well in streaming numbers as the Walt Disney Company would like. Estimated viewership has not been released by data analytics tracking firms such as Samba TV or Nielsen yet, and it's likely Disney will divulge any data as they have yet to do so in any transparent way yet in any of their shows on the streaming platform. In fact, Nielsen hasn't provided update data since the week during the Disney 5 2021 when Netflix Lost in Space toppled the charts at 1.2 billion minutes viewed. Cocamelon followed in second place with 786 million minutes viewed. So again, this is a love letter to all the stockholders out there. if you want to know if your investment is worthwhile, we need to start advocating the stockholders in general to demand these companies to release the numbers. Either that, or we tell our congressmen, representative, to make sure that we make a law saying that they must release those numbers. Otherwise, it's going to be a scam. Otherwise, it's going to be a scam. Okay, let me do something really quick here. So, again, that is up to us as the viewers. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But where do you draw that line? I feel like we all have to draw that line sooner or later because, we don't have an infinite amount of money and time. We do not have an infinite amount of time and money. Let's see if this works. Oh, YouTube, why are you not working? Because I used the wrong keyboard. That's why. I have 2 keyboards. Okay. There we go. Avery, welcome. Wing hugs. How you doing? Yeah, I gave up on Disney and Star Wars, but I'm really into Cobra Kai. That show. See, and here's the great thing about the fellowship, the fandom. Some people use community. Others don't, which I can understand on that too. The power of word of mouth. These companies should never, ever, ever take it for granted. But they always do. They always do. And it's just something I never truly understood. I think really the only company right now that's starting to wake up and realize what's going on is Sony. Spider-Man No Way Home. They realized that Spider-Man No Way Home was doing so well that they actually strategically pushed the Morbius movie. A lot of people saying, oh, it's about delays and everything, but I think the stronger rumor, from what I've been hearing, is that they didn't want to interfere with Spider-Man, which rightfully so. There is no other movies that's going to be able to touch it. There's still people watching it for a 3rd to 4th time. Some people are now watching it for the first time because word of mouth is so good. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And in fact, with the word of mouth being so good for Cobra Kai, I'm actually going to, once I get the time, it'll be soon. I want to watch The Karate Kid, watch the movies first so I can get at least a baseline understanding of what's going on with the world, and then eventually get into the Cobra Kai seasons. Because I've just heard that much good things in it. I know it's not going to be for me, but at this point, I want to just have some escapism. That's all I want. That's all I ask for. I mean, I'm the customer. Aren't we always right? Aren't we always right? So, and it's like the word of mouth for the Book of Boba Fett, at least when it comes to my sphere on Twitter, my sphere on Facebook, Getter, my IRL working buddies, my IRL friends. There's only one person that I actually kind of liked Boba Fett, and we talked about it. He had some fair points, but even I would consider him a normie. And we were talking about it, and he even agreed that episode 1 of Boba Fett was absolute trash. Now, he said that episode 2 was good, which I'm still waiting for Every Fair and Pause to release their episode 2, because I just don't care for it. So, the minute they renamed Boba Fett's ship to Starship, or the Fire Spray, it's like, no, it's the Slave One. And it's like, I just want to see Boba Fett being a bounty hunter, taking bounty I mean, it's in the name, right? It's in the class, right? And don't forget, I play Star Wars The Old Republic. I have a bounty hunter class. That campaign is so good. That free-to-play game is so good that why do I want to watch the Boba Fett when I can actually be one in this MMO game that's free-to-play? That's why I'm not interested in this. When I can make a character better than this multi-million-dollar company. And that's BioWare that makes that game. It's absurd. And the part that just killed me was that shield scene when Boba Fett was being surrounded. You fly. You fly. You fly. You can fly in the MMO. It's one of the starting skills, too, that you can get. Because bounty hunters have jetpacks. Oh, my goodness. It's... Oof. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Okay, let's look at something else here. Let's see. Can I look at this by seasons? Yes, I can. Okay. Cobra Kai. Again, another shining example. Again, this is all by word of mouth. Season 1 of Cobra Kai. 100% from the critics. 95 audience score. Again, this is just a small sample size. Take it for what it's worth. Just a data point. You wonderful ladies and gentlemen, you guys have smart minds, critical thinking minds. You guys can formulate your own conclusions. I'm just providing some data points. Season 2, 90%, 91%. Not bad, kind of dipped a little bit. But still, pretty good. Let's go to season 3 here. Again, 90%, 91%. And then finally season 4. 100%, 92%. I mean, word of mouth and, you know, some data points tells a pretty clear story. You know, Cobra Kai is good. It's going to take me some time to get into, or to actually watch it all, so. But, yeah, I heard it's really good. Really, really good. I think I'll have to watch some Chucky Chan movies to really get me back into Kung Fu. It's been a while since we had like a good Kung Fu type story, and Cobra Kai seems to be that one, so I need to get into it. And since we're here, let's see how well The Witcher's doing. Yeah, it's not looking good for The Witcher. My biggest issue with The Witcher, kind of just quick transitioning here. You know, I've watched so many playthroughs of The Witcher. And it's like, I know, I just want to see one character mowing down these awesome creatures and seeing him develop. From what I've been hearing, all the reviews that I've been hearing, you know, he's barely in it. Henry Cavill. Henry freaking Cavill. Like, every guy loves him. Every girl wants to screw him. And it's like, I have mad props for Henry Cavill because he plays Warhammer 40k. He paints miniatures. The guy is the ultimate king of the nerds. He makes his own computer. Like, I want him to be in a Warhammer 40k production because he will fit perfectly in the lore in the universe, especially if they make, this is like my ultimate dream is for Warhammer 40k to get their head out of their ass and actually make maybe even an anime with Henry Cavill in it. make him a Primarch of one of the Space Marine chapters. Or Legions, excuse me. One can dream, though. One can only dream. I mean, it's true what everyone says. He's just born in the wrong era. Another thing, I wish he would be the next James Bond, too. I think he would be perfect. Yeah, he won't be like the super high dexterity running and, you know, doing these crazy stunts. But I can see him being a very powerful, you know, heavyweight type of James Bond. Man, he can be in so... I mean, and Superman, too. He just needs a good writing staff and a good director. But... Yep, I agree, Avery. He should be the next James Bond. Hands down. Hands down, he should be the next James Bond. I would pay money to see that. But they don't want my money. They don't want your money. I don't know. It's so sad. But Sony gets it. Sony gets it. At least for now. Yeah. Good minds think alike. What can I say? Us normie fans, man. We ask for so little. And see, the thing that bugs me is that this is why companies have social media managers. Because they should be the ones seeing what is trending on these social media sites. And if they see hashtag Henry Cavill for James Bond trending, you would think those social media managers out there would say, hey, I'm seeing a huge trend on this particular guy. The fans want him. We need money. Can we make a match in heaven? But no, they're taking the social media managers and they're making them the cultural diversity hires and so forth. So they can preach the message. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And then don't get me started on the One Ring. Do not get me started on the One Ring. Freaking Lord of the Rings is next. That may be the first show that I really dive into. Like, do an episodic. Well, I mean, I'm doing it with the Beast Wars now, but just want to just rip apart. Because we really need good high fantasy just storytelling. Game of Thrones was decent up until the last 3 seasons, and then it just took a giant nosedive. I'm glad I didn't get invested into it. Because I tried to get into it. You know, I was trying to watch it for a friend. I couldn't get into it. The pacing was so bad. And it's like, you only have like 2 seasons left to really wrap everything up in one big battle. And then those big battles never really came. And one of the big battles was so dark, you couldn't see anything. Like, what crap is this? For Christmas, I watched Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Just to cleanse the palate. What is going on? There's still some diamonds in the rough, though. Like I said, Arcane, definitely a diamond. A shining, bright diamond that all the ladies want. Cobra Kai is another one. Cobra Kai is another one. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Oh, yes. I I gotta beat up on Star Wars a little bit more. I gotta beat up on Star Wars a little bit more. I saw this and it's like, what in the world is going on? So, again, another big piece to why Disney does not want to go into the expanded universe I mean, they're stealing from it. Don't get me wrong, but they are meat grinding it and shaping it to the point so that way they don't have to pay royalty. And so they also created their own era for Star Wars. That's called the High Republic. Said, I think, 200 years before the Phantom Menace. Star Wars, the High Republic, galactic bake-off spectacular comic from IDW. What in the world is this? I mean, that doesn't even look appetizing. What in the world? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some manga, some good cooking mangas too. But I want to show you guys the comparisons to this. Just to show you why manga is laughing their ass off. See if I can find you guys a good cover. Okay. This is all about marketing. See if I can get one. Let's see here. Okay. So, if you had to choose between the Star Wars High Republic Galactic Bake-Off Spectacular or a manga called Food Wars, which one would you buy? This is why manga is killing it. Again, beautiful roast presented, interesting look of characters. Oh, this piece of shit. Manga is laughing their ass off. And our wonderful friend over at the Master of the TDS did a wonderful meme of this. Because I was thinking the same thing too with Gordon Ramsay. But he beat it to it. All the props to him. This is great. It's raw, you alien donkey. Perfect. Masterpiece. Nothing more needs to be said. But I think I'm going to try to get my hands on it. I don't want to pay. We'll find a way. I want to get a copy of this and review it just to show you how bad this is. Oh, yeah. I just don't get it. And the thing is, I think this is going to cost more. Let me, hang on. Now I got to figure out how much this costs. Let's find out, shall we? High Republic. So I know how much the Food Wars one cost because I have a copy of it. High Republic. Let's see, this is the Galactic. What a terrible name, too. And how dare you call something galactic when you don't even, like, build any world building with this crap either. Let's see here. How much is this? Let's see if we can Well, it helps if I also spell it right. Okay, so it's a little bit cheaper. So it's a comic variant, and it goes for $6. Whereas the manga one, usually you can find it at the cheapest at $9. Go with the manga. Go with Food Wars. If you want a good laugh about food, Food Wars is for you. I also did a Food Wars Volume 1 on this channel, so you can find that video as well. I love manga. Love it, love it, love it. I gotta get into Volume 2, and this is also making me hungry, too. Oh, Disney, how you fallen so far? How you have fallen so far. Especially for Star Wars, man. I was a fan, a super nerd. I played so many LucasArts games from... I think the very first one I played was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64. I gotta play that again. That game was ballin'. I miss LucasArts so much. Alright, let's take a look at the stocks. Let's take a look at the 5. Looks like we gotta go 1 month. 6 months. Okay. So it wouldn't be an Icey Lair podcast without doing the stock report for Disney. So it definitely tanked last month, but then looks like it's slowly coming back on the rise, and we all know why, because Book of Boba Fett is coming out, but I don't think this is as good as they want it to be. You have my quote of the day right there. Oh my goodness. Don't get me started on the Christmas specials. Especially the Lego ones. Oh my goodness. We gotta stop giving Disney ideas. Darth Vader turned to the dark side because he lost a bake-off. Jeez. Extra burnt. Extra crispy. Rip. Oh man, and you had to remind me of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's coming too. Oh no. Oh no. Obi-Wan. I am not looking forward to that. Because it's all about continuity. You know, there's that famous phrase in A New Hope that, Darth Vader says, here we are again. I'm paraphrasing it. Like, here we are again, locked in battle. And, you left me to die on Mustafar. And it's like, now I'm the master. Again, paraphrasing. I can't remember the exact quote. But, the Obi-Wan series, if it's going to maintain the continuity, the only way that it can pull it off is another fight in Mustafar. No, it's all good, Avery. It's all good. So that's the only way they can pull it off, is that they're going to have to spar up again at Mustafar, which, in Disney canon, Darth Vader does have his throne at Mustafar, so they can still maintain it, but I wouldn't care either less. Because, again, it's going to be on Tatooine again. Ryan Kennel said it best from RK Outpost. Like, every series has been on Tatooine. I want world building. The world is a character. Let's build it up. I've played Star Wars Empire at War and Empire at War 2 Forces of Corruption. I know how big this galaxy is. From Coruscant to Dantooine to Hoth to Dagobah to all these other systems. Geonosis, Kuwait. I had to conquer all these planets in that RTS game. Which, if you haven't played it, it is golden. We're not stupid. And it's like Disney is so stuck on this mentality of consume, consume, consume. All the customers are consumers. Like, we're just gonna go watch other stuff. I don't get it. I do not get it. Disney, what are you doing? That's enough about Disney. Let's go ahead and talk about our last topic. Because again, it also won't be an Icey Layer podcast without talking some good in humanity. And so let's go ahead and get another status update of the James Webb Telescope. This has been the big news for a while. So let's go ahead and go to NASA's site here. Where is the James Webb Telescope? Otherwise known as our really big human-made transformer. Exactly. They can't go to Endor because the Ewoks will get them. Yep, because sticks and stones will break stormtrooper bones. I always do the I pretend button when it comes to Endor and the Ewoks. That Return of the Jedi is just classic for me because I grew up with the special editions, and so I was a kid going through that. It's like, oh, these cute little bear-looking things are killing stormtroopers! Yay! Clap, clap, clap! Yay! You know, my adult side of me says that's absolutely retarded, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let me just check all my to-do lists here. Let's go ahead and set that. Poor Superman. That's stuff that I'll do later for a later video. And then now we can get to some more cool stuff. Get some more cool stuff going. So, this was on Christmas Day. I think this was probably the awesome Christmas present. The James Webb Telescope was launched on an Ares, I believe, 6 rocket from the French Guiana. And so we've got our latest news. The Webb Telescope has completely transformed and is on its way to the L2 spot. So it's been about 14 days. It is approximately 676,000 miles from Earth. That's just mind-blowing to think about. It's also mind-blowing to think about that's going to take a whole month just to get to this point. So, you will not get me this time. Let's see. There we go. Get wrecked. Thank you, bots. I greatly appreciate that I'm getting some love and attention. Get wreck. So anyways, can I also, let's see. And yep, and we'll do that too. Sweet. Okay. So on the hot side, it's 131 degrees Fahrenheit. On the cold side, it's negative 278. Insane. Insane to think about. So I'm not going to go into the technical aspects of this. I'm just more of the general nerdiness side of things. But yeah, this telescope is designed to look at, I think it's the infrared spectrum of light. No, not infrared, because that's what we can see. I think it was like the, shoot, now I can't remember. But anyways, there's plenty of other smart people, way beyond smarter than me, making videos about this. I recommend a YouTube channel called Scott Manley if you really want to get into the weeds of space. He is a guru when it comes to space. I watch him religiously when it comes to space content. And just an awesome dude in general. So definitely watch Scott Manley if you definitely more interested of looking into the ins and outs of this. But to think that this was a small little rectangle that bloomed into our latest telescope is crazy to think about. So this is the Ares 5 rocket. I misspoke. So this is the Ares 5 rocket. And look, it was all compact into this little square box. You kind of go through the motions here. A transformer in space. This has got me excited. This has got me excited because, like I said, it's our second eye into space. See if we look at the orbit here. So yeah, that I recommend is going to the NASA site. You know, you can learn so much of what this thing is going to be capable of. But yay, space! And then now we get to talk about some also cool little pictures here that I found across the Twitterverse. So here we've got the moon cosplaying as Saturn, which hail to Sailor Saturn. She had her birthday a couple days ago. And our lovely co-host of Crochet Collectibles and chatting the Geeky Crochet was also crocheting Sailor Saturn as well. Can't wait for that stream, which again is happening the last Wednesday of this month. And I think that's going to be our dedicated spot. We got to finalize a few more things with the Geeky Crochet, and then we'll go from there. So I think this was pretty cool. 3 years ago, the Chinese Chang 4 landed on the moon. So you can see kind of the descent here. To think that humanity, you know, politics aside, the fact that the human race is making strides to go to these bodily worlds. It's impressive. You know, it's not for everyone. I understand that, but this is something I'm really passionate about. Like, these are the things we got to be focusing on. I can't wait for SpaceX. I know currently they did a couple status fires with their Starship, but I think they were having problems with their heat tiles. When they do their static launch, they fill it with a different gas. They don't actually put like real rocket fuel into it when they actually turn it on for like a second. They do a substitute that doesn't, you know, combust and cause the rocket to actually take off. But see, landed on the moon. Pretty darn cool. Talked about the Boba Fett, talked about that garbage. We got our wonderful rovers on Mars, bringing us some pictures. So cool. Jezero Mars was now a dried up lake bed. Was once deep underwater with 3 billion years ago. That's so cool. So cool. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't think so. I think we finally talked about everything I wanted to talk about. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up for the episode 12 of the Icey Lair podcast. I'll plug a few things. So on the Endless Collectibles channel, there'll be a link down below. We finalized our time for January for the Triple C, Crochet, Collectibles, and Chatting with my lovely co-host, the Geeky Crochet. She'll be showing off some new figures that she's crocheted together. And that'll be on the 26th of January, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a whole bunch of things to unbox. And then February's going to be fun. There will be more to come in February if everything goes through. I can't talk about it now. We're still in talks. But February is going to be a good show too. So we're starting off the new year right. I am excited. I'm going to try to get some more manga reviews out tomorrow and some more stuff on the Honest Collectibles channel. Yes, the amazing Maria. The Geeky Crochet. For sure. But yeah, that is all I have. More content to come. Again, you can follow me on Twitter. I've also got a Getter account as well now. RayronVR. So you can find me on one of those two platforms. I'm loving Getter, to be honest. It's a nice breath of fresh air. It's like, I'm only following the people I want to follow. That's it. How it should be. So, all right. But with that, that is all I've got for you guys. And then also, sorry, one more thing on this channel. No, we'll promote that a little bit later. So, that is all I got for this week. And I'll see you for episode 13 next week on this channel, on the Ray Run After Dark. With that, guys, that is it for me. You guys have another amazing week. And I'll see you next week. Take it easy, y'all. Also, wing hugs.
Time turns to darkness. Well,